Welcome back to the subject law enforcement, organization, and administration. In this video, the discussion is focused on the two of the other tri-bureaus or the bureaus under the Department of Interior, Local, and Government. We have the Bureau of Fire Protection, or known as the BFP, and the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, or known as the BJMP. And at the end of this lecture, the viewers and learners are expected to be able to compare the BFP with the BJMP insofar as the organizational structure and the key positions are concerned, and as well to be able to discuss the organizational structure of the Bureau of Fire Protection to the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Okay, so what is the Bureau of Fire Protection? Again, as mentioned earlier, it is created under Republic Act 6975, together with the BJMP and the PNP. For the Bureau of Fire Protection, it is considered as one of the major law enforcement agencies in the country, as well as the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. And specifically, the Bureau of Fire Protection is created to perform the following functions. Ano yung mga functions niya? Be responsible for the prevention and suppression of all destructive fires. So lahat ng mga destructive fires, pag sinabing destructive fires, ito yung mga nagkokos ng massive death, injury, or damage to properties. So, kung ang nasunog ay building, okay, mga bahay, and other structures. Ano yung mga other structures? So, ito yung mga residential and non-residential structures. Okay, it could be gymnasium, it could be church building, it could be a temple, okay? So, as long as it involves real property. And to include also yung mga sunog sa mga kabundukan, okay, the forest fires. That's why recently pinag-usapan sa BFP the idea of creating forest fire protection, okay, na a separate unit or something like that. In other countries, they have that kind of thing na separate na fire protection against forest fires. And then land transportation vehicles and equipment, okay? Because they are also considered as real properties, na yung mga motor vehicles, okay? And other heavy equipment like that. The ships and vessels dock at piers or wharves anchored in major seaports, meaning ito yung mga nakaangkla na mga barko, okay, or anumang mga sea vessels na nakaangkla sa mga pier, okay, or sa mga major seaports natin. Pag nagkasunog doon, that will be part of the functions of the BFP. And petroleum industry installations. Ano mga yan? Okay, yung mga tawag natin, yung mga gasolinahan, yung mga refineries, mga oil refineries, plane crashes also, pag may natawag natin mga bumagsak na eroplano, and other similar activities that somehow result or causes massive death, injury, or damage to property. Okay, so yun ang mga pinakaunang function niyan. That's why, kapag may mga kaguluhan, very visible ngayon ang mga personnel ng Bureau of Fire Protection. Further, they shall be responsible for the enforcement of the Fire Code of the Philippines, the Presidential Decree 1185, which was recently amended as the Republic Act 9514 or the New Fire Code of the Philippines of 2008, and other related laws. Ano yung mga other related laws niyan? Okay? Mga related laws, say for example, yung mga building code, no, of the Philippines, okay, yung other public safety codes natin, no, as long as nagkokos ito ng maaring explosion or burning, ay saklaw yan ng Bureau of Fire Protection. And they shall have the power to investigate all causes of fires and if necessary, file the proper complaint with the city or provincial prosecutor who has jurisdiction over the case. Okay? So kapag may sunog, sila yung naatasan na mag-imbestiga. At the same time, sila na rin ang magfa-file ng kaso sa prosecution at mag-assist sa prosecution and adjudication of the case later on. Okay, kaya sa fire ngayon, meron na silang mga tinatawag natin mga fire arson investigation courses or the FAIC because they are trained to investigate the causes of fires. Kapag yan ay accidental, mayroon pa ring liable diyan kasi babagsak yan na reckless imprudence. Kapag yan ay perpetrated or premeditated, then pwedeng babagsak yan na arson cases yan, yung kanilang imbestigahan. Okay, so regardless whether that is intentional, natural, or accidental, ay covered ng function ng Bureau of Fire Protection. At kung kinakailangan, after investigation, may kakasuhan din sila ngayon yung pinaka-primary agency to do that. And in the time of national emergency, ano yung national emergency? Say for example, earthquake. Di ba? Okay, or nagkaroon ng sudden invasion of other countries, nagkaroon ng giyera. Di ba? Nagkaroon ng tinatawag natin terroristic attack sa isang city or whatever, no? Okay? All elements of the BFP shall, upon direction of the President, assist in the armed forces of the Philippines in meeting the national emergency. So, tatawagin ng mga yan, ano? And they shall establish at least one fire station with adequate personnel, firefighting facilities, and equipment in every provincial, capital city, and municipality, subject to standard rules and regulations as may be promulgated. Okay? So, uh, ngayon ay na-start na ng Bureau of Fire Protection na mag-set up, mag-create ng mga fire stations sa mga municipalities. Unlike before, na sa isang fire station, ang covered niya ay mga 2 or 3 municipality. Ngayon, halos lahat na ng munisipyo sa buong bansa ay nalalagyan na nila ng mga tawag natin ng fire station. And you might be wondering, sir, bakit? Kukunti naman yung town ng iba. Because sabi nga natin, hindi lang naman kasi destructive fire ang coverage ng responsibility ng Bureau of Fire Protection. Kahit sa mga earthquake, okay, sa mga disaster and rescue operations like that, kasama pa rin ang Bureau of Fire. Kaya hindi naman necessary na pag may sunog lang na dapat merong tawag natin, mayroong mga fire officers sa area na yan. And what about the BJMP or the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology? It is also created by virtue of Republic Act 6975. Okay, in line as a line bureau under the DILG, that's why we have what you call the tri-bureau, the PNP, the BFP, and the BJMP. And again, we mentioned in the earlier lectures that in the former PCINP, we have what you call the Jail Division or the Office of the Jail Management, and you have the Fire Division or the Office of Fire Management during the time, and or the Office of the Fire Protection the time. And as we mentioned in the earlier videos, they were offered to stay with, we call it two-rank higher promotion adjustment para mag-stay sila doon sa makikreate na BJMP at saka BFP by virtue of 6975. And the last known head of the Office of the Jail Management of the PCNP was Brigadier General Arsenio E. Concepcion. So what is the mandate of the BJMP? That is to direct, supervise, and control the administration and operation of all district, city, and municipal jails nationwide, with prompt task of safekeeping and development of enemies. In other words, dalawa yung kanilang trabaho. That is to safekeep, okay? Safekeep yung mga criminals, mga inmates. At the same time, ay i-develop din yung mga inmates so that kapag lalabas ay they are ready to join the community again as a productive member of the community. So take note, ang hawak lang nila ay mga district jails. Ano sir, anong mga district jails? Ang district jails, so yung mga isang Sa isang probinsya, hinati-hati yan sa distrito. At isang distrito, maaring dalawa, tatlo, or apat na munisipyo ang tawag natin ang cover niyan. Kaya tinatawag na mga district jails yan. So meron din sa mga malalaking mga tawag natin mga munisipyo, they have their own municipal jails. Okay? At yung mga city jails. Eh sir, paano yung provincial jail? The provincial jail is under the provincial government, ang provincial jail. And to compare these two bureaus of the DILG, they were both created by RA 6975. And both of them underwent upgrading, reorganization, and professionalization by virtue of Republic Act 9263 and Republic Act 9592. On the other hand, ang PNP ay nag-undergo siya ng mga upgrading, reorganization, and professionalization, okay, uh, through other Republic Acts like the Republic Act 8551. But for the BJMP and the BFP ay nagkaroon sila ng sarili or ibang tawag natin, jointly they were updated or upgraded by different Republic Acts, specifically the Republic Acts 9263 and 9592. Bakit? No? Kasi nga nauna yung upgrading at professionalization, pati sa sahod nauna ang PNP. Matagal nang tawag natin na-increase ang sahod ng PNP noon ay hindi pa nag-i-increase ang sahod ng BJMP at saka BFP. Okay, so kinakailangan ng panibagong batas. Okay? Kasi sa 8551, ang binago lang ay sa PNP. So eventually ay they came up also with another laws that will more or less upgrade, reorganize, and professionalize these two other bureaus, the BFP and the BJMP. And respectively, ang tawag sa, or in other words, parehas sila, ang tawag sa head nila ay Chief BFP and the other one is the Chief BJMP. Kung baga sa PNP, Chief PNP. However, ang pagkakaiba niyan ay yung rangko. Okay, yung rangko nila, no? Yan. So meron din silang Deputy Chief for Administration at Deputy Chief for Operations, so parehas. Kagaya ng tawag natin ng PNP. And sino ang mag-appoint sa mga Chief PNP at saka Deputy Chief? Well, that is the President of the Republic upon the recommendation of the Secretary of the DILG from among the qualified officers with at least the rank of Senior Superintendent in the service. Meaning, kapag ikaw ay police colonel, full-fledged colonel ka, senior superintendent ka noon, okay, at ang counterpart mo sa jail ay jail senior superintendent saka fire senior superintendent, ang mga yon ay qualified na para outright na ma-appoint ni presidente na fire chief or deputy fire chief or jail chief or deputy jail chief, no? Pwede na. Pero sa PNP, yung mga one-star rank ang kino-consider, yung chief superintendent pataas ang kino-consider for the chief PNP. Pero dito sa fire at saka sa jail, ang pwedeng i-consider as low as the senior superintendent. Okay? So the heads of the BFP and the BJMP shall serve for a tour of duty not to exceed 4 years. So 4 na taon. Okay, yung kanilang natawag nating tenure, whether they like it or not, after 4 years, kahit hindi pa sila magre-retire, i-retire na sila. However, that in times of war or other emergencies declared by the Congress, the President may extend such tour of duty. Nagkataon, pa-retire na sila or patapos na yung 4 years nila. Bigla nagkaroon ng national emergency. Pwedeng extend. Okay? Uh, as declared by the Congress, no? Yung Congress ang magsasabi niyan because they are created by by a law or by laws. So here is the BFP Command Group. So you have the Chief BFP with the rank of Fire Director. So pag Fire Director, yan ay tinatawag natin 2-star general, no? So ang counterpart niyan doon sa tawag natin doon sa PNP noon ay Police Director. Ang rangko ngayon ng Police Director ay Police Major General. So in other words, ang counterpart ni Chief BFP ay sa PNP ay Police Major General, 2-star General. No? Ang 1-star General natin ay Brigadier General, 2-star, Major General, 3-star ay Lieutenant General, at saka 4-star ay General, 4-star General. Kasi mayroong 5-star General in cases of war. Now, on the other hand, one rank lower, yung tatlong susunod sa kanya. The second in command is the Deputy for Administration, Fire Chief Superintendent, or Brigadier General, kumbaga sa police. So, yung third man is the Deputy Chief for Operation with the rank of Fire Superintendent, also meaning 1-star General. Saka yung Chief of Directorial Staff with the rank of Fire Superintendent. And maaaring sabihin nyo, sir, bakit ganon? Bakit dun sa PNP, 4-star ang hepe? Kaya 3-star yung kanya mga deputy at saka yung chief ng directorial staff. Ganon din sa AFP, no? 4-star, 3-star. Well, ganito 'yan. Mas maliit ang organization ng BFP at BJMP as compared sa PNP. Mas maliit ang organization, mas mababa yung rangko ng magiging head noon. So we discussed that earlier sa mga different units in an organization, yung mga division, bureau, okay, the unit and offices and like that, no? The greater or the larger the organization and the greater the number of personnel, okay, ay the higher the rank of the head of that. Ang PNP, more than 100,000, 160, something like that, or almost 200,000 na, or something like that, more or less 200,000 ang strength ng PNP. Samantalang ang BFP ay nasa more or less 25, 26,000 ang strength niyan. So, dapat nga mas mababa pa yan eh. Okay? But of course, pag mas mababa kasi yung ranko niyan, mas mababa yung sahod, kaya nilalabi yan para tataas din yung ranko ng mga yan. Okay? So, mayroong move niyan na tinatawag natin, magdadagdag ulit sila ng mga star rank officers ng BFP. Okay? For the purpose of professionalization also. Okay? So, under the directorial staff of the BFP, you have now, we call it 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No? Merong 9 na. Okay? 9, hindi siya 6, hindi siya 7. Nung nagsimula, 6 lang ito. Tapos naging 7 siya. Ngayon, 9 na. Okay? So you have the Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. Okay? And you have the Directorate for Human Resource Development. Okay? So na-separate na yung Personnel and Records Management saka sa Human Resource Development. The Directorate for Controllership, the Directorate for Plans, dati for Plans and Management, okay, the Directorate for Logistics, the Directorate for Operations, the Directorate for Intelligence and Investigation, and the Directorate for Fire Safety and Environment, and the Directorate for Communication and Information Technology Management. So ito yung isang bago, yung Directorate for Communication and Information Technology. Yan, so yan yung pinakabago dyan. At ang ranko ng mga yan ay at least Senior Superintendent or Police Colonel. Meaning, pwedeng General, pwedeng 1-star General or Chief Superintendent yung ranko niyan. So basta Senior Superintendent yan. Kung Senior Superintendent ka, dapat yan ang mga hinahawakan mo. Kapag ikaw ay Lieutenant Colonel or Superintendent lang, pag pinahawak ka niyan, ang kwan mo lang dyan is malamang acting capacity ka lang or officer in charge lang. And ano yung mga specific na ginagawa ng Directorate for Personnel and Records Management? That is now the Administrative Division, the Moral and Benefit Division. You might be wondering, ano yan? Yan yung mga awards, yan yung mga tawag natin other benefits para tumaas, magkaroon ng high moral yung mga BFP personnel natin. The Personnel and Records Management Division, then the Retirement Benefits Division. Ngayon, nahiwalay yung Human Resource Development. Because sa Human Resource Management Division, diyan napapasok yung mga training, yung mga recruitment, okay? Then you have the Directorate for Controllership, kasama dyan yung budgeting, okay? And concerning the revenue or yung mga nakokolekta Fire Code Revenue Management Division kasi may mga binabayaran na mga pag kumuha ka ng fire inspection certificate mo, may binabayaran pag nagkakandak ng mga inspection ng mga building ang Bureau of Fire. Then you have the Directorate for Plans, Planning and Programming Division, the Fire Science and Technology Division, and the Directorate for Logistics, mga properties, mga equipment, okay, mga procurement, okay, mga disposal of equipment as well as kasama na rin dyan yung mga engineering division nila. What about the Directorate for Operations? You have yung direkta nito, yung mga actual na nagkakandak ng fire prevention at fire suppression activities. Okay? And you have we call it the Special Operations Division. Ito yung mga naka-camouflage ng orange. Okay? And then, or yung tinatawag nilang SARO or the SRU, the Special Rescue Unit. Then you have the Directorate for Intelligence and Investigation, those who conduct investigation, as well as intelligence gathering and detection. So for example, may mga possibilities na mga magkokos ng destructive fire like that. Directorate for Fire Safety and Enforcement. Ito yung mga nagkakandak ng actual inspection sa mga buildings and facilities. Then you have the Directorate for Communication and Information Technology, yung pinakabago because of the computerization of our technologies sa ating mga government offices. So, down below, the Chief of Directorial Staff, nandyan yung mga tinatawag natin mga management support units. Okay? Yung mga management support units, you have the finance service, the legal service, the chaplain service, the supply and property accountable service, the accounting service, the public information service, the health service, the arson lab service, the fire control operation service, and the general support services. Ito na yung mga tinatawag natin mga management. Okay? Ito yung mga tinatawag natin mga admin and operational support units. Kumbaga sa PNP, tawag diyan mga admin support units saka yung mga operational support units. So ito pinag-combine na yung management support units ng BFP. Down below sa organizational structure is just like a copy paste of the national headquarters. You have now the regional director. By the way, I screenshot these images from the video uploaded by the Bureau of Fire Protection in the YouTube. Okay, if you would like to learn further about the functions and organization of the BFP, okay, you may browse their website or look for their orientation video or the briefer video on BFP uploaded in the YouTube. Okay, so mahanap niyo doon yung mga specific na ginagawa nila sa explanation ng mga ito. So on the regional level, you have the RESFO or the Regional Executive Senior Fire Officer. Sir, ano ba yan? RESFO. Yan yung tawag natin counterpart ng PNP RESPO, the Regional Executive Senior Police Officer. Meron ding tinatawag na CESPO, the City Executive Senior Police Officer kung sa PNP. At meron mga MESPO. Ano ang mga yan? Ang mga yan, yung mga kumbaga sa military, ang tawag dyan, yung mga Sergeant Major. Okay? So ang command responsibility niyan ni RESPO, siya yung pinaka-highest sa lahat ng mga non-commissioned officers. Okay? From SFO4 down to FO1. Okay? Yung pinaka-senior sa lahat ng mga senior fire officers. Yan. Okay, siya yun. Siya ang tinatawag natin, tinatalaga dyan. At yung kanyang katungkulan dyan, yung kanyang responsibility and function is he covers lahat ng mga non-commissioned officers. Kumbaga sa PNP, yung RESPO, siya yung bahala, siya yung pinaka-boss ng mga lahat ng mga non-commissioned officers, no? Doon sa isang region. Kung sa city naman, mga kanyan, mga matitikas yan, matataas yung kanilang mga katungkulan diyan. So you have the chaplain unit, the legal unit, and the public information unit. And down below, you have also the ARD for admin and the ARD for operations. Then you have the regional chief of staff. Again, you have the administrative, the financial, the logistic, the fire safety, enforcement, and operations. Ngayon, dinadagdag na yung sa training, sa human resource kasi ang region ay nagkakandak na rin ng mga training. Dati kasi ang training sa fire ay doon lang sa National Fire Training Institute. Eh problema sa dami ng mga trainees, so nag-open na sila ng mga training sa mga regional offices. Just like sa tawag natin sa PNP. What about the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology? Okay, so this is the bird's eye view of the entirety of the organization of the BJMP. From the above, you have the what you call the BJMP Command. Okay, the BJMP Command unit or the BJMP Command group, consisting of the Chief BJMP and then the Deputy for Admin and the Deputy for Operation and the Chief of the Directorial Staff, the same as with the BFP. Ang pagkakaiba niyan ay nandito mayroon silang NESPO. Di ba RESPO yung pinag-usapan natin saka RESFO. Ngayon ito naman meron siyang NESJO, the National Executive Senior Jail Officer, yung pinakamataas sa lahat, pinaka-senior sa lahat ng mga senior jail officer force. Okay? So yan. Then you have also the directorial staff. Then that is the letter B. That is now what you call the directorial staff. The letter C, you have now the national support units. Okay? And then yung row ng D, that is now the provincial, the regional, provincial, municipal jails and units of the BJMP. So again, the chief BJMP has a rank of the rank of the chief BJMP is jail director or 2-star, and the deputy is what you call jail chief superintendent. The two deputies and the chief of the directorial staff, and of course the national executive senior jail officer SFO4 yan, pero pinakamataas yan na SFO4. Then the directorial staff, kumbaga sa BJMP, meron silang siyam. Dito naman, meron silang 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. They have the Directorate for Controllership, Personnel and Records Management also, Human Resource Development, Logistic, ICT Management also. Now, ang pakaiba rito, meron silang health service. Kasi nga, yung safekeeping and the rehabilitation of, we call it the needs of the inmates. You have the Directorate for Operations, the Welfare and Development, okay, para totally ma-rehabilitate ang mga inmates, the intelligence, siniparate yung investigation and prosecution. And you have the program development. So mas marami yung directorial staff ng BJMP. On the management support units naman, almost the same din. No? Merong Supply Accountable Office, Finance Service Office, Accounting Service Office, Legal Service Office, ICT Service Office, okay, the GSUC, the Legislative Liaison Service Office, the Community Relations Service Office, the Chaplaincy Service, and the Headquarters Support Service. Then if we move down below, you have now the jail regional offices, the jail provincial administrator offices, the district jails, the city jails, and the municipal jails. Okay, so we will be discussing the lower levels of the organizational structure of the BFP and BJMP in a separate lecture. Now, what is the specific provisions of Republic Act 6975? Okay, and we call it that created the BFP and BJMP. On the part of the Bureau of Fire Protection, yan ay na-create under Chapter 4, Republic Act 6975 from Section 53 to 59. Tapos sa Chapter 5 naman, from Section 60 to Section 65, yun naman yung creation and organization of the BJMP. Okay, so those are the key positions under these two bureaus. For the specific uh, positions and rankings in the BFP and BJMP, they will be discussed in a separate lecture or video. Close this lecture, a reminder from the Word of God in Revelation chapter 21, verse 8. But as for the cowardly, the faithless, the detestable, as for murderers, the sexually immoral, the sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, their portion will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur. Yan yung eternal fire na tinatawag sa Bible, no? Yung tinatawag nilang hell, okay? So, if you will become a law enforcement officer later on, mag-ingat, no? Because merong tinatawag na eternal fire or hell na tinatawag natin. And it was mentioned in Revelation 21:8 and also mentioned in other portions of the Bible. Okay, so with that, thank you very much for watching. Okay, do not forget to click the subscribe button and the notification button if you have not done yet. Okay, so once again, good day, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. God bless you all.